Yo, yo. What up, YouTube? Welcome to a Saturday stream. Wait a second. Why are you not on? And when you're on, this disappears. Yo. This needs to stop. Good. We're doing good so far. We are doing good so far. Getting better at this. It's almost like I used to do this at some point. What up, YouTube? How are you guys doing? Irene, hi. Good to see you back. Good to see you here as well. Mark, yo, get caught up. I'm doing good. Tiny Rick, how are you, dude? Thank you for your help earlier today. And you'll probably find out why this stream. Who else we got? D, what up? The sound, L sound. It is the intro. Best intro in Rise of Kingdoms. Thank you. What up, Misty? The Devil Lord, what up? It's been a long time it's been so long for this intro. Yeah, it's been a while, but we're back slowly and steadily. Let me see here. Let's get some music going in the background. Get our day going. You got to remember to lower the volume, or else you guys are not gonna like me. And I know you guys are gonna hate me for playing the same damn music over and over. But I do really like this mix, so I'm sorry, but I am not sorry. We'll not listen to the whole. We won't listen to the whole thing. It's just to start the day. Is it this? I think so. Nope. Don't do that. Don't do that. What on earth just happened? 1 second, chat. This is cool. Yo, what up, Mata? Sadly, not the old JWM. Which old JWM? Is JWM still exist? Does it? I have no idea. Is there still a JWM or an alliance called JWM? I know that the leaders, some of the people who were JWM after I left are in 556. Others in 254, I think, or something like that. Keen from JWM, geez, it's been forever. The old JWM, the crew. Man, I mean, I heard the Grand Prix is freaking, what's their faces? 1v against new V, which is 1v against 1v, which really bugs me because, not because they don't deserve it, I guess, but because the other kingdom that almost did it was Kingdom 59 with JWM versus JWM2 in Osiris League. And at the end of all of that situation, both of our teams in 59 lost to HKL, and HKL became champions. So, yeah. The intro is so nostalgia. 365 is the best kingdom. I remember Chuni versus Bunny Burst. Yeah, 365 is definitely one of those kingdoms. But it's a later stage kingdom, I guess, to a certain extent. That popped off out of nowhere, right? It would be what? After our KVK, right? After the 7v1, 365 became the Korean Kings for some time. Or something crazy like that, right? It was after our KVK against them. Okay. Please. Oh, that's sad. Unprepared Gekko, looking for music instead of just chilling with chat and streaming. But no, Unprepared Gekko is now looking for damn song he wanted to start the stream with. And he realized, as he speaks in third freaking... Anyway, front, center, and clear, literally, I guess. We have to. We can go, you know, we can If you guys are a little bit scared of the big guy right there, we can come back this way, get this going, and you know what I'm saying, get all this stuff, I guess, these views. Where on earth is the freaking this? Oh, well, that's interesting. Thank you for taking me out of Rise of Kingdoms for the highlights link that doesn't exist. I guess 1v1. Lovely. Actually, JWM was built the same way, 60 GT and 1V. The One Alliance is full whales. That's, you know, that's an interesting thing, right? Because in these games, okay, there are, it's gonna sound like I'm being either profiling people or trying to be racist in some shape or form, or say something that's like derogatory towards a kingdom or religion or something like that. But again, if we don't think like that everything is offensive and just see how things really are, we see that different countries, different locations, different areas, different people think differently, right? Play differently. The Koreans always show again and again how different their way of playing Rise of Kingdoms is, right? They have their way, and it's not that it's only Koreans know the truth, right? But it's how their kingdoms end up running. And so the same can be said about, we had, I believe, in there was a while where you had a more of a Muslim a higher Muslim concentrated kingdom that ran a certain way, and you had a if I'm not mistaken, there was even a Spanish kingdom at some point that played more Cyrus League for a little bit than anything else in B Kingdom or something like that. And they used to run a ton of cavalry way back before I quit. I had a story about a kingdom that was running some crazy cav strat in a Cyrus League, running around with calves, and that's it. And kind of like the old HKL used to do. But somewhere along the way, you have these different types of play styles, right? And what really interests me to see is how the new kingdoms are going to be built, right? Because the old ones is like the Chinese way of playing was always that way, right? One mega alliance of whales, right? In Lords Mobile, it was the same way, by the way. Chinese players get super tight community and build a masterpiece. Remember White Tigers? I do remember White Tigers. I'm glad you do. And so JWM was built that way. UCS was that way until UCS became less, I guess, Chinese predominant than it was before. And then all of them migrated to 960 to be, again, this mega Chinese alliance of just ginormous, great players, right? So it's really cool to see. It's really cool to see. You follow these trends. International is best, love is the way, of course. That's of course. Nah, Ben, don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that. What about OV? OV are kind of the same thing, except OV are literally just like, we want to play a Cyrus League, and that's that. That's what we want to do. And so I don't blame them. I really don't blame them. I am amazed at the fact that I'm searching for something that we listen to pretty much almost every other stream ever, right? And I can't find it. So and I truly don't believe that that's a possibility. Truly don't believe that that's a possibility. I mean, we listened to it a couple of weeks ago. And now it's just gone. Okay. Interesting. There you are. Not castle. But it'll get there. Finally. Let me tell the story of Chisgule almost quitting. There's nothing really crazy going on there. Back in the good old days of Kingdom... What was it? 50 versus 51? I mean... Chisgule was getting a lot of hate. I don't know if you guys remember this, but at the time... There was this congregation of people that came into Kingdom 50 to cause some trouble to a up and coming content creator, and they wrecked them. And in the process, made his first attempt of making content and KVK content and all that stuff a very, very, very unpleasant experience. And I mean, we've talked about this before. I think I know Chisgule has as well before. That at some point he and I got together and chilled, like we're talking, you know, YouTube stuff and all that. And then he told me like that he was really getting harassed, and not in a really messed up way. Not necessarily. It was just anytime he was doing any content, anything like that, it was just bad, right? And at the time, I mean, think about it this way. You don't see yourself being a full-time content creator. You don't see yourself... Rise of Kingdoms was barely starting, right? Like, it was barely... I think he still had a job. It was like, why am I doing this to myself to be miserable? And we had that conversation. And all I remember... Well, I remember the whole thing, but what I ended up telling him is, like, at the end of the day, this is just a drop in a bucket of enormous amounts of water that's going to go through your YouTube channel and your game, and you like just there's always going to be a drop or two along the way that's extra sour and extra toxic and extra not good. But if it's a drop or two in a big bucket of good, then you got to learn that sometimes, you know, life isn't perfect. It wasn't exactly that what I told him, right? It was like, listen, essentially suck it up, man. Like, you're doing great on YouTube. Just, it'll go away. And he did. And he did. More than gems done for the day. Thankfully, we had not purchased the materials of this freaking shop, so it was easy peasy. We are already looking at possibilities of refining, including the fact, Lord knows where my equipment is though, because I've been moving it around. Who has what? Do you have it? No. Who has my Richard? Yes. But that's not what I'm looking for. I am looking for this. Yeah, we need one more glove. And then Navarre's is ours. That's the two hard pieces, I guess. From there, it's just set pieces, right? I'm going to need some more gems. I am going to need more gems. Unfortunately. We already spent today's more than gems. I'm going to top up for tomorrow at some point. I am curious, though. Great. Sweet. Perfect. Okay, so there was this rumor, right? There was this rumor that I was going to either steal a Mightiest Governor or just cause ruckus in 556, and my plan was to go to 254 for some weird reason. Others said that I'm going other places, and so as you can see right here, the new world bundle reset, okay, which means that in theory, last time we talked, it did not reset, right? Last time you guys saw me, it still was on last month. If I was looking to migrate right now out of 556, as in my plan was to leave 556, okay? Then you guys could see right now that I would probably end up buying this, which is what, 25 passport pages? And so, or 20, whatever it is. And add to that the ones that I have. If I had bought last month and this month, I could definitely leave and be the mischievous a-hole that I was made to be. But as you can see, I did not even bother buying the $5 and $10 and $20 bundles, which is pretty much a no-brainer that every single person who spends some money in this game should do, so that you have at least one ticket out of a kingdom. So right now, the only way I leave 556 anytime soon is passport pages in a shop, or you guys tell me we want you out of here, and I'm like, all right, well, you guys gotta wait 2 months. So don't come at me saying that I was planning on leaving and I was planning on screwing 556 and yada yada yada, the things that I've been hearing along the way. I literally could have bought the damn bundle and then bought one again, and I'm out. Just saying. I prefer to stay if possible, honestly. You know, it's a double whammy for me. I hit 2 nails on the head in one hit, right? Because on the one hand, I migrated my jumper to 860 and then didn't have a crazy KVK there. Okay, didn't have a crazy KVK there. I was all right. I wasn't very too useful. I was just another piece on the field. But then I disappeared, right? Which at least I disappeared in a way that my city just vanished off the map. Same here, so it didn't hurt the kingdom. So that's a good thing. I still haven't logged into 860, by the way. But I still feel like I owe these guys a little bit of my... I owe these guys, right? I owe these guys a good KVK. And same for 556, right? I migrated here and... I migrated here. There was a KVK. Beginning of KVK, I disappeared. In home kingdom, I barely didn't even go into KVK. Everybody was too busy with KVK. By the time that was done, I had not logged in anymore. And so I disappeared. And so they didn't have to get rid of me. So I came into 556 and then didn't do anything here. So as far as I'm concerned, the best option for me personally would be to stay in DN with DN, because then I can actually contribute with my garrison and be at one of their main garrisons, because I will at least 1 to 2 KVKs be here full time, at least. Taking breaks from work to fight and all that stuff like we used to. So that would be 2 birds with 1 stone. Both give something back to 556 and give something back to DN. So that's what I'm aiming for. That would make a lot more sense. Even if I'm here for just a short stint and then I have to leave again, at least I can zero myself in a KVK or something like that, or I can make sure that I'm doing it in a way that actually helps a kingdom for a change. Or disappear right in the beginning of a KVK where essentially people will not notice and then your city goes poof and it doesn't matter. Which is, by the way, anyone who's looking to take break and come back, the best way to do it. You literally tell your team you're going to do that after migration ends. I'm kidding. 0, then move on. Maybe. Because even if I do 0 and move on, Irene, it would come in 2 waves, right? Because 98 bringing me down to 54 would mean down 44 million power. End of KVK, I get 22 million power back. So I'm back to like 76, 77. That gives you a little bit of extra power for 1 more KVK. And then again, you'll come back to 64 mil, but at 64 mil, you're not bugging anyone or anything. You're just like a random farm in a kingdom like this. So there's at least 2 KVKs where I can say, you know, I'm coasting, just gathering as many resources as I can, and I'm just going to go balls to the wall with everything I got twice, and then see where we're at. Because that's literally, like, the best thing to do. And honestly, I wouldn't mind training too, right? Like, I have training speed ups. I have a lot of training speed ups. I have a good amount of speed ups, I think, still left. You guys will know how much I have very soon. Spoiler alert. But yeah, that's the plan. So I hope that the people that told me that I'm leaving 556 calm down. You can do live wars in 556, a Brazilian YouTube can't. How come? Diego. And for the record, nobody said I can do live streams, right? 556 leadership can say, hey, we don't want streamers here. That could be a thing. And then we don't stream fights. Daddy Ratchet, what up, dude? How are you? Are you still with your guys in, what was it, 225? I wonder if Mups is still there, too. Tons of resources. Tons and tons of resources. We went hunting barbs too, so. Alright, chat. Let's get into today's let's get into today's subject for a moment. It's not gonna be like last time. This is gonna be so much quicker, shorter, like we're checking out. We're just gonna go through a list of kingdoms and it's not going to be an hour and a half, right? We're going to condense it down. Essentially, the premise, as we have about a good-ish, like 2-3 minutes before we start, is that there is a list of kingdoms in the history of Rise of Kingdoms that that have shaped the way Rise of Kingdoms is, and that have shaped Rise of Kingdoms as a whole. And these kingdoms are both current active as well as 256, you're right. Many of us moved to 846. Oh, damn. So there's a list of kingdoms who have shaped Rise of Kingdoms, right? These kingdoms are either currently active and currently shaping Rise of Kingdoms, as well as others that are not what they used to be, and yet they had a huge effect of what Rise of Kingdoms is today, okay? So in that respect, I think the list here is about 15 kingdoms and a few other, like, we'll call it nominees of the, like, special nominees that did certain things that caused certain shifts in Rise of Kingdoms, okay? So there are kingdoms in this game that are pretty much a stamp of what Rise of Kingdoms community became. To talk about Go 56. What is there to talk about? They're leaving. I have no idea what's going on there. We can go here. Yoink. Chat, you guys with me? Don't forget to drop a like on the stream before we start. And if you're enjoying the stream, don't forget to subscribe down below for more Rise of Kingdoms content. We're slowly and steadily coming back into it. Kingdom 2, Kingdom 39. 1. Sanctions on passport. 93. Who do you guys think? Do a drama video on them leaving? I mean, if I was here long enough to know what's going on, I could have. It doesn't really... I don't even know what's going on. I just got a mail. Yo, what up, fish? It's been a while, man. Yeah, I'm back for now. What about 2070? 2070 gets is somewhere within one of the lists. RoK Gekko would be solid Gekko. Would be solid content though. True. but it would also probably be the end of Gekko. 16, ooh, lol. 59. All the rage now. I have no idea, Mark. I have honestly, I have no idea what's going on. There was a mail a little bit ago that the alliances were gonna be VC, Go, and DN, and now I guess Go are like, nah, better not be the three of us. Fo said 20 of the core players are leaving. Oh, well, that sucks. I'm just saying, I have no idea. I wouldn't know to tell you what's going on in there. 101 was big. Actually, believe it or not, 101 didn't make it into my list. Some of you guys said some crazy numbers. 102, 39, 52, 59, 103. What's 103? Kingdom 50. 401, 254. 20 core players left. I really wouldn't know to tell you why, how, where, why, who is what. I hope that doesn't cause too many issues in 556. I don't know. Okay, let's start. So obviously this list is kind of crazy, right? Because it's about 16-ish kingdoms that I think that made a huge impact on what Rise of Kingdoms is today, and what Rise of Kingdoms was when they did what they did in order to be nominated today in this list, right? Now keep in mind a few things. This is my personal list. This is something I thought about. This doesn't necessarily reflect all the crazy achievements that happened within the stratosphere of Rise of Kingdoms, because believe it or not, if you take a look at what is going on right here in this list, crazy list, there are kingdoms upon kingdoms upon kingdoms upon kingdoms, and all of these are different constellations of kingdoms who are doing things that some of us know about and some of us do not. So bear with me on the fact that I am not necessarily going to hit on all the kingdoms you think did crazy things or etched some of the history of Rise of Kingdoms, but I think you guys could agree with me on the list, okay? And we'll actually see in a poll halfway through how am I doing as far as you guys are concerned, okay? About the types of kingdoms, Israeli kingdom will be a mess. We can't handle a country. A kingdom will be really bad. Oh, don't go that way. Although there is one. I thought 2110 had a ton of Israelis. But anyway, let's get going. First and foremost, the first kingdom we have to mention, because there is no way we do not mention this kingdom. That is right, ladies and gentlemen. That is Kingdom 2. Kingdom 2, or Kingdom of Momba, nowadays ran by a Lord knows who. UCS still to this day. That is sick, because that is the alliance, that is the kingdom that pretty much was the beta kingdom for a long time. They were pioneers in everything in Rise of Kingdoms. They were pretty much they started it all. And 960 being a kingdom that did not make it into this list, not because it's not a good kingdom, but because Kingdom 2 and 960 kind of come in hand, because what ended up happening with this kingdom was that after being the top dog, being one of the biggest kingdoms in the game for as long as they have been, with a king and the king for the longest time, a kingdom that we have to commend. They're now 960 in 960, a big chunk of them, and I'm assuming they left behind some folks to handle the kingdom in case they ever want to come back. But definitely Kingdom 2, Kingdom 962, very memorable kingdoms in Rise of Kingdoms journey, as they helped build this game and beta test essentially everything. They got everything a few days in advance. What up, Baba? How are you, my man? How's it going? Let's continue to the next one on my list. Now, this list is in no particular order. It's different pieces of Rise of Kingdoms history. We're going to try to hit every piece a little bit differently. We're going to try to see if we can get things going chunk by chunk. Kingdom 59. Yup. You guys know it. We have to mention them. Kingdom 59 and JWM. JWM, for the first time in Rise of Kingdoms history, was the one alliance and one kingdom no one wanted to mess with. Nobody wanted to mess with JWM. The only ones who ever tried and failed miserably were Kingdom 58, and I believe it was Kingdom 135 or 155. That was like my first KVK with JWM. A very, very, very good KVK. Other than that, everyone else who tried to fight them did not really try. Gave up way, way too early because JWM was a massive Whale Lord place. Back-to-back runner-ups on a Cyrus League caused a heartbroken leader to just disappear, and JWM's saga ended there. It was the most hated kingdom out there. They were by far the, we'll say, big boys that everybody to a certain extent loved to hate. Being part of JWM was a crazy experience. I can tell you that the amount that rained, the gold heads that rained there, gold chests that rained there was nuts. How and why JWM imploded? After the second runner-up situation in Osiris League, the leader said pretty much he's done. He was too heartbroken to go through it a third time. And he just one day just up and up disappeared. And as a result, things fell apart, essentially. But all of Kingdom 59's story is a way, way, way awesomer story for another day. Kingdom 59 wasn't even a kingdom, it was an alliance. I mean, at the time, kingdoms were alliances. That's actually a good segue to our next kingdom on this list, right? That Ratchet. Because this kingdom, in my opinion, to this day, is the kingdom that has the most decorated mentions in the history of Rise of Kingdoms through thin and thick, and they're still active to this day. That is right. That is Kingdom 93. Kingdom 93 was one of the few kingdoms for the first time ever who said, listen, a kingdom cannot be one alliance. It needs to be multiple alliances. And more than that, it needs to be multiple alliances. But how on earth do we do that? And the way they did that way, way, way back then was by bringing 3 families of alliances, huge alliances that somehow managed to live on a very small little map, honestly, compared to what it is today. Back in the day, it wasn't just like it is now. And it was a crazy project. 3 massive families of alliances running a kingdom, and it was the first one. This kingdom was the kingdom that made Rise of Kingdoms today's meta be relevant. All the top kingdoms realized they need to be there. They need to be this in order to succeed. 93 did not stop there. They had a couple of very crazy KVKs, including some very, very big rally reports out there in the game, setting some standards for big, big, big rallies. And to this day, after going through a complete, we'll call it fall down and crash after the peak, right, back down, 93 pretty much remained active. The core leadership, some of the core leadership from way back still exists. Some of the core players are still there, like Silent Flow, like I think Nico is still playing. Nico, I always butcher her name. I always do it. Sorry, I apologize. They just kept grinding, let the wave pass, waited for the next surge to come, and just built back up. And nowadays, a really strong kingdom, still active in the Rise of Kingdoms community. Now, our next kingdom is also an active one. And I gotta say, Gekko invited me in JWM. I arrived and just find myself, Baba came in to JWM, and 2 weeks later, leader quit. And it was hilarious because he talked to Baba and to character T, and they all set it up, everything about exactly how things should be when those guys come. And then 2 weeks later, the guy disappears. It was crazy. 93 also zeroed Solimar. That is very true. That's a good remark to say as well about 93. They did zero. So far, they are responsible for the biggest zeroing in Rise of Kingdoms. To this day, nobody has zeroed a bigger player. I don't think so, right? You that thumbnail? Wait, what? Where? How? Anyway, let's continue. Our next kingdom on our list, I don't really need to introduce it, right? You guys know it. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. They are pretty much one of the top dogs nowadays in Rise of Kingdoms. That is right, Kingdom 254. Kingdom 254 is a very, very, very interesting story, right? Because these guys went from, or better yet, not necessarily this number. I guess this number is where Bunny really established himself. I don't know much about his past in Rise of Kingdoms and how 254 became what it is. I got to know him randomly, right? And so, on stream. And so 254 is a kingdom that set the precedent on what a big KVK should be like. Before 254, the way KVKs worked was like, oh, we got screwed with a crappy KVK again. We got screwed with a crappy KVK again. And 254 were the first ones who said, you know what? Let's try to match a KVK. What would happen if we try somehow to align two big alliances to sign up at the same time on the same day, on the same whatever it was, to try to get a massive KVK? And then they started talking smack, right? And that's not a bad thing. They started talking smack, getting their fights, and slowly and steadily building the culture of having massive KVKs happening, which is one of the better things that have happened for Rise of Kingdoms as a game, because it caused bigger spenders to spend a lot more. And at the same time, it gave the bigger spenders that extra this need for fight, for that extra competitiveness happened. Okay. And so 254 among that also realized that they cannot only build a kingdom of one alliance or multiple alliances and remain with the same multiple alliances. They realized that it has to be some sort of a revolving door. And they were one of the few ones who really pioneered the way into what the top echelon of Imperium kingdoms is today, which is essentially a group of players who are willing to go down to 54 million power every single KVK and swarm, rally, field fight, suicide, anything. And that's what the top tier is nowadays. And I think it's mostly because of Bunny and at the time Nuggets pursue for this competitiveness, right? And some criticized it at the time, but nowadays it's very relevant, and it did create a little bit of a separation in the way KVKs happen. So 254 had a really big impact on this game and on how the community works nowadays. And they also learned that on top of building good relationships and essentially a revolving door, because people quit, people didn't want to move on, people don't want to play as hard, they learned also how to build a small community of friends outside the game. And so their Discord pops off. They're a great place, great community for other games as well. They really did a good job building that kingdom and their community and everything along the way. So after a very long round about 254, which everybody thought I was going to migrate to, but I am really not going there. Okay. You got to go back in time to a kingdom that no longer, well, maybe it is active to a certain extent, but is no longer as relevant as it was. Or maybe it is and I'm being a douche. But Kingdom 16 started off one of the biggest fires in Rise of Kingdoms history, as being part of the home of not only the godfather, so-called godfather of a Rise of Kingdoms, legendary Rhony himself, but also the place where the dragon in the current content creation world has been created as well. Kingdom 16 brought not only two of the bigger content creators, but also some of the biggest drama in Rise of Kingdoms. On top of being a fairly strong kingdom, very good kingdom for when they were at their peak, A lot of drama happened there, including a crazy civil war, which made Rise of Kingdoms change forever. The hate towards content creators be real. And a lot changed after Rise of Kingdoms, for better or worse. And for the record, Kingdom 16 changed the lives of all content creators as they started getting paid better. It is what it is. Anyway, with that out of the way, Kingdom 16 to this day still exists, and they made their part pretty unforgettable. Chat, if you're enjoying so far the stream, make sure you drop a like on the stream. Hit that subscribe down below if you haven't done that yet. We have a few more kingdoms we're going to go through, and this is one of those things I told you guys we're going to try to do a little bit of pre-thought of content, trying to condense it a little bit more. Hope you guys are enjoying this. Let's move on to another kingdom that is currently an active kingdom. It's an active kingdom that set precedent to something no other kingdom has done. They've gotten an insane amount of hate from the community for many, many different reasons, some valid and some not. And these guys to this day are sort of an anomaly in Rise of Kingdoms. Chat, can you guess who I'm talking about? Which kingdom is the next kingdom in my list? Let me know right now. As in a little bit, I'll give you guys a hint as to, you know, which direction to go with. I want to see what you guys can think of. I gave you an intro of what this kingdom is. Let's see if you guys can figure it out. Brawny says 960. We already talked about 93, Wolfie. Irene says 52. Khan says 52. 2 307s. 846, 331. I will give you guys a hint, and that is that it is indeed a 10-0. A 1-0. And I will say that we have already a good guess. And that is right. That is right. I mean, I can't keep going. Kingdom 52. Listen, Kingdom 52 is one of those kingdoms with one of those names that is etched into Rise of Kingdoms history beyond the shadow of a doubt. The first ever Osiris League champions showed us that this game mode actually has potential and that Osiris League is a thing that can be competitive. A kingdom that was not as strong as JWM, was not the whales that were swarming through Osiris League because they were just plowing through people with commanders. OV and Kingdom 52 were the ones who said, "Not in my house." Those of you who know the reference to that, leave me a comment in the chat right now and let me know. They destroyed JWM in the final of the Osiris League Season 1 and went to win another Osiris League after that. Indeed, some controversy popped out of this kingdom as a little bit of botting accusations against our main man, Slouty, who is the leader of this kingdom from the beginning, I think, the mastermind behind the gameplay of Osiris League. I believe he's also a game dev or ex-game dev himself, so there is a reason why he is so focused on Osiris League. It's interesting to me always the fact that Slouty still plays. It's also the home of one of the greatest uppers and downer Rise of Kingdoms, up and down Rise of Kingdoms, I guess, content creators, John Wick. John Wick came into the scene before being a content creator as the legendary horse that carried the Ark to victory. Nobody could stop that man. And we even interviewed him after the finals on this channel and got to meet him, and it was an awesome experience. Later on, he became one of the greatest up-and-coming content creators in Rise of Kingdoms who then disappeared. And that's that. Kingdom 52, definitely a kingdom that etched its place in the Rise of Kingdoms history. Our next kingdom is one that you guys might not really think as a big kingdom in terms of the history of Rise of Kingdoms. It is one that is worth pointing out in a couple of sentences, and that is none other than Kingdom 196. At the time, I was part of this project, the Legend Gaming project, or the K200 project. This was the kingdom, LG2 still ruling here. This was the kingdom that was the biggest jumper group in Rise of Kingdoms history. It was 800 players, I believe, at the time it was 8 or 9 kingdoms, alliances. It was an absolute insane jump, and the project was called K200 Project. The idea behind it was when Kingdom 200 opens, we jump there. I was honored to be part of that project. That's where my jumper was made. And we ended up in Kingdom 196 for a very sad reason. In Rise of Kingdoms, in case you don't know, back in the day, I kind of hope there is a way I can show you this. Back in the day, there was no kingdom lists, but there was rather continents, which were 8 kingdoms together. And these continents were made, each map of each kingdom, there were actually 4 map layouts, which meant that essentially Kingdom 192, 196, and 200 had the same exact map. Kingdom 193, 197, and 201 had the same exact map, but different than the first 3 that I mentioned. What Kingdom 200 project wanted to do was to jump into a kingdom, into one map layout, and then hop onto a different map layout on our final destination, Kingdom 200. However, Lilith screwed us over. Lilith were releasing 2 to 3 servers every single day, kingdoms, and we essentially said, all right, all we got to do is time it so that on our 8th, 9th, or 10th day of our jump, our kingdom opens up. Unfortunately, as the jump is going on, and we are talking, 800 people. We had a middle kingdom that hosted us, and we pretty much bumped it in power like crazy from just being noobs there, right? And these guys, essentially, we ended up in Kingdom 196 because not enough servers opened in time, and it was either 196 or 204. And we didn't have a chance to get to 200. Our jumpers wouldn't have worked. 196 became the home and the biggest jumper group ever to establish essentially jumping in Rise of Kingdoms was made. Another kingdom that was part of the history of one of my friends here in the community and in the chat right now is a kingdom that was also touched by another content creator, Kingdom 245. Kingdom 245 was Legend Rhony's attempt of building his mega kingdom post Kingdom 16. He had with him our friend Baba as part of 45. I keep saying 254. 245. And 245 was actually part of not only some of the biggest surge of kingdom, Legend Rhony himself built a big thing. They also were part of the biggest and only that I know of, at least, okay, in the bigger scale, not in smaller KVKs. From my knowledge, at least, I might be wrong, one of the only kingdoms that managed to win a zone in KVK to then get kicked out of it. For the first time ever in Rise of Kingdoms history, P245, if I'm not mistaken, were the alliance that lost to another kingdom, which we'll mention probably later today, to the 12 Kings. That's right, Kingdom 239. And the 12 Kings managed to push back into a zone where they got kicked out of for the first time ever in any KVK, period. And so 245 go down in history not only as the kingdom that was the first, one of the first big content creator wave of creation, but also the one that took the biggest L at the time, unfortunately for them. There were a lot of kingdoms out there. There were a lot of things that we can talk about, but I had to cut the list as short as I can because I don't want to kill you guys here going through millions of kingdoms because we're on our way to the 3,000th kingdom in Rise of Kingdoms, okay? It's kind of bonkers. The next one on our list, believe it or not, another content creator's kingdom. One of you guys already mentioned it, Kingdom 75. Kingdom 75 being Smash Squad's home, Chisgule's project. After Ronnie's thing, I think Ronnie's project came first, but Chisgule at some point realized we're building a kingdom. I'm going to be the king. 75 is the destination for Cyrus League purposes, for commander purposes, for whatever purposes. This is our home. Bam. And so the kingdom became a known kingdom primarily through Chisgule Gaming, wins, losses, fights, and all that along the way. An old kingdom that's not as functional anymore, not one of these existing kingdoms, just like 245. It was, one of those. Now, there is a massive kingdom going through a pretty decent turmoil right now. that is extremely important to mention, because it also holds some players of another kingdom that should be mentioned but does not exist anymore. You guys have a clue who I'm talking about? This kingdom is one that's been criticized a lot, but through thick and thin has built to be one of the most fierce kingdoms in the game. And now going through turmoil, question marks about its future are in the air. But you know, old glue, strong glue, is very tough to break. Which kingdom am I talking about? Chat, let's see who you guys guess. Who the F care? Who the frick you? What? 534, 556, 960, 307, 556, 307, 412, 141, 307. Oh, 307 is going through struggles? 208, Blood Kingdom, 307, 960, 556. Yep. Those of you who said 556, that is definitely the kingdom. Listen, one of the things about Kingdom 556 that need to be mentioned is that throughout its existence, it was built to do certain things. They created a kingdom and made decisions that were not decisions that were necessarily in accordance with the community. It was a like-minded group of individuals who built one of the 3 mega kingdoms at the time that simply did not care what the community had to say, did what they wanted to do, made decisions on their own accord, not on what everybody else expected them to do. And as a result of that, they attracted another group of kingdoms, of people, of a kingdom that was very similar to it. So our kingdom that we're talking about right now is my home kingdom right now, for now, which is I did not leave 556. I'm in 556. I don't plan on leaving 556 unless they kick me. But anyway, 556 is one of those kingdoms that managed to just build itself and not even care what others think. They skipped the KVK that they said they were going to register to because they had their reasons and did not care what anyone else thought. They fight every KVK they got to fight. Win or lose, doesn't matter. They go all out, and they have people like Foe, who is one of the most unique creators out there, who pretty much represents, you can see, a massive viewership. He represents a good chunk of Rise of Kingdoms entertainment, okay? And he also is part of building this massively successful kingdom, which managed to attract into it a group from a kingdom that was just like that. A kingdom that was under the table, becoming the biggest spending kingdom in the game. And as a matter of fact, they did become, I believe, the first kingdom with an alliance at a 40 level, gift level 40, which was 860. 860, when it imploded, whatever happened, D ended up in 556. I wonder how that happened. The reason I'm assuming that happened is knowing a little bit both sides, is that they're like-minded individuals who do not care what the community thinks, who do what they want to do in order to have fun the way they want to have and not even care. That was 860 at the time. Everybody criticized them for not fighting, for not every blah, 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 but they were having fun playing the game. And so is 556. And yeah, that's all it is. One of the 3 mega kingdoms that rose as part of the game. And speaking of rose, another mention to Kingdom 239, who were the kings who destroyed 245, was that Rose was one of those alliances in their kingdom, an Osiris League dark horse that you never knew where they're going to come out of. So that was one of those things. Another hugely massive kingdom that I don't even need to tell you guys to guess, because you guys know who they are the ones who really made things look look easy, right? An ex-content creator, ex-leader of Kingdom, I believe it was 60 or I don't remember what, I don't even remember what it was, something 60. Laguna himself, a veteran in Rise of Kingdoms from a long time ago, even worked at some point with Lilith on some things for Rise of Kingdoms, built a kingdom of just ginormous proportions, a kingdom of massive whales, insane fights, everybody willing to go down to 54 million power. And the problem is they will never get there because the credit cards out there are so deep, and the ability and knowledge and stacked deck is so stacked that in order for them to make it to 54 million power, A lot of continents got to get zeroed. And so, as part of the, I guess, trifecta of massive kingdoms, 846, K46, that's right. Thank you, Blaze. That's why they're also 846. My brain's dead. Anyway, Laguna building 846, and yeah, there's nothing much to say about them. Massive, massive whales. I'm best friends with Laguna. He can go F himself. Anyway, moving on, I was going to go back into 239 for a little bit. We did talk about them. There is one kingdom. We have 4 more in my list, and we're donezo, which is about what I expected this to be. There's one kingdom that is very relevant to this day that was built a very, very, very long time ago by a name in the Rise of Kingdoms community that most of you already probably know. It's a name that doesn't only reign supreme on one kingdom or multiple kingdoms, but rather multiple kingdoms. A guy who somehow, some way has 7 accounts. 7 accounts in 7 different kingdoms with legendary skins and pretty much everything you want to talk about. That's right. 307 in the home of Mad Phantom himself. What you guys don't know about 307, or maybe you do because it's been spoken about for a very long time, is that the project of 307 was essentially a Mad Phantom's baby project. And he hit the number 307 for a very particular reason. Believe it or not, this kingdom to this day, being the home of Dragothien as well, is one of the most well thought of projects that was from the beginning just well executed, and yeah, that's all that can be said. And here's why. Kingdom 93 was at the time a mega kingdom, and one that was having issues a little bit sustaining the players within due to the fact that the maps and options were too small. And so, and on top of that, there was the first Osiris League ended, and now there were talks about Osiris League Season 2 and how they would cut the what it's called now, realms. And essentially, Phantom had seen what's going on in 93, knowing through past experience as a leader, decided that the number he's looking for is 307. 307 for many reasons, one of them being the fact that it was just on that cutoff of realms where they would be able to fight against newer players for a while, which would allow them not to have to run the rat race, okay? A lot of people criticize 307 for not fighting matched fights and for not doing all these things, right? But the one thing 307 always did is just enjoy the game. They say, we fight whoever KVK matches us. We just, whatever the matchup is, we don't match it. We don't wait for people. We don't tell people when we go. We just go. Whatever we get, we get. We have fun. We sustain. You want to be a ginorma whale? Probably not the place for you. You want to be a big whale with sometimes big fights, sometimes not that many fights? This is the place for you. You want to enjoy Rise of Kingdoms? This is the place for you. Enjoy it in a more chill way, but not in a non-fighting way. In a fighting way, 100%, but at the same time, not 254 level of madness, but rather good, solid fighting. And that's that. They had some tough fights. They have lost, I believe, a KVK, right? They have lost one. And they were also some of the geniuses behind some of the craziest migration bugs, loopholes, whatever it is. What up, Motive? It's been a while. Good to see you. Kingdom 401, with Motive coming in the chat right now, is the next one on our list. So Kingdom 401, I think, goes into Rise of Kingdoms' history for many, many things. They lost twice. Sorry, I don't know. You got Kingdom 401 goes into KVK's history for many, 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 many reasons. Not only 401 being a place that somehow managed to get LIIG, a very, very strong kingdom, a very, very strong alliance, both in Osiris League and on the field, with Tien and somehow with Squad. At the time, 401 became a ginorma kingdom. It was absolutely crazy what happened there, and thankfully I had the opportunity to jump into this project as well. 401 went into a KVK in essentially 7v2, where the 7v2 was really a 7v1 because the 2 sucked, okay? Period. I'm saying it right now. It was a 7v1. Now, the 7 on top of that were all Korean. They went on later on to create Kingdom 365, one of the strongest Korean kingdoms, kings of Korea, for a very, 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 very long time. Another kingdom in our list, the Korean kings of 365. Later on moving to 34, I believe, which is 1v, but some of them. But hey, we were on 401. 401 didn't only go 7v1. They went 7v1 to 0. People were at 54 million power across the board. It was incredible. It was so clear who did not participate in KVK because those who didn't had more than 60 million power. Period. It was the craziest KVK Rise of Kingdoms had seen to date. It was probably the best KVK I ever had. It was the most fun ever, especially because I migrated from JWM to Kingdom 401, and at the time, nobody had Zenobia but 2 other players who did not max her and me, and I was the only Zenobia there. I had some-ish mediocre, somewhat okay gear, and somehow I became the Garrison. Nobody managed to burn. One time we burned, a flag of ours burned when we actually held until things popped. When things popped, it was over. But it was definitely one of the best and craziest KVKs Rise of Kingdoms had seen. Was some of the most fun with some of the best people in the game. Some of them being now in 254 and having fun there. Yeah, I'm still in 254, a lot busier than I used to, but I still play as much as I can. Nice. That's good to hear, Motive. Have I tried Call of Dragons? I have. 307 is weak. 307 doesn't claim to be weak or strong or anything. They just play the game. Remember Christmas stream garrisoning all night in 401? Yeah, that was crazy. Those 401 garrison streams. Yeah, those were some of the most fun, crazy fights ever, right? And I think we can summarize our list with one more kingdom. That kingdom is one that I wonder if you guys will manage to guess. Our last one in our list for the night. This kingdom is, okay, probably one of the biggest fails in Rise of Kingdoms history. I will literally call them the biggest fail of Rise of Kingdoms history. There were 2 major fouls that happened that caused this to be. You guys are thinking way early, way late in the game. You guys are saying 412, 2070. 2070 definitely is on my commendable list for a nice implosion in Rise of Kingdoms. They are in my commendable list. I told you there is one, and I also said 860 is in my commendable list. It's crazy that none of you guys. I don't believe that. Okay, one person guessed it, and she is on fire today because she knows she's been hitting everything. She's been hitting everything, all of 2000 Kingdoms. That's hilarious. All right, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a hint because only one person said it. One person said it. 56, 51. Daddy Ratchet, don't spam. Don't spam. That is right, Noah. That is right. Daddy Ratchet, finally you get it too. Kingdom 1 at 1039. Listen, chat. Listen. This is serious business, okay? Nobody has ever screwed up as much as Kingdom 39, okay? Let me tell you why. 2070 was definitely a blow up, and 365 definitely failed as well. You can say everything you want about Kingdom 51, but Kingdom 51 had a huge fight, which they lost, and then it imploded. I'll tell you where, though, Kingdom 39 are the true kings of failures in Rise of Kingdoms. The White Tigers came into the scene claiming to be the biggest, baddest new guys on the scene. What made JWM particularly dangerous is that when you looked at their alliance, you know what I mean? When you go into an alliance and you go, hey, Mr. Alliance, hello, I have a question for you, good sir, Mr. Alliance. How much money do you spend in Rise of Kingdoms, Mr. Alliance? Mr. Alliance says, well, my gift level is 29, and therefore that's how much I spend. JWM was always the biggest gift level in Rise of Kingdoms. That's one of the reasons people were hating on them, which is for better or worse. Now, Kingdom 39 came in with White Tigers with one goal. We are going to be the biggest, baddest gift level, and I believe they even were the first one to hit 30, okay? These guys came in spending. I mean, spending. They swiped that card, boys, and spent. They spent so much that they even managed to get the attention of three big names, and two big names, and one name that I miss and I haven't seen in a while. I hope he's doing okay. I think he's in 254 as well. Chisgule Gaming, Solimar, and of course, King of Armenia, who I haven't seen in a very long time. I think he's in 254, right? Essentially, White Tigers were supposed to be nuts, right? They managed to attract enough of the big names. The biggest, strongest player at the time, the biggest content creator at the time, and add to that, one of the biggest spenders in the game at the time, who was pretty much playing with Chisgule, or wanted to play with Chisgule or something like that. Add to that King Talib to the scene. If I'm not mistaken, King Talib was in 1039 as well. And every possible thing that you can say a failure happened within Rise of Kingdoms, you can attribute to Kingdom 39. The biggest zeroing to this date in Rise of Kingdoms history. And for the record, Motive, I don't know if you're still watching, and this is not me dissing, disrespecting, or anything like that, but I truly think that Kingdom 254 needs to figure out how they're getting on the board as zeroing the biggest player in Rise of Kingdoms. Because so far, 93 still own that title. And I hope that there will be if there's an opportunity, I'm sure 254 will do it, for the record. I don't doubt it, okay? But I think that if anyone manages to break that record, it would be 254, 846, or maybe even 556, depending on how it looks like at the end of this shufflage, right? So, the biggest zeroing in Rise of Kingdoms history happened on the soil of 39's KVK, with us recording like crazy. The biggest Rise of Kingdoms content creator came in and lost a KVK in pretty big shambles, and just it was a terrible migration. Sucked for him for sure. And on top of that, King of Armenia kind of quit at that point, if I'm not mistaken, right? And so it caused one of the bigger names in Rise of Kingdoms one of the bigger spenders in Rise of Kingdoms to stop playing. And so, chat, I hope you guys enjoyed this pre-made list of kingdoms who I believe etched their name in the Rise of Kingdoms book. I think we went through about 45 minutes-ish of going through over about 20 kingdoms who brought us to Rise of Kingdoms today, brought us to the place where we are now. And the question is, which kingdoms are going to create the next waves within the Rise of Kingdoms community and within the game with their ingenuity, with fights, with money, or with just some crazy strategy and win a Cyrus League? You never know. But anyway, yeah, chat, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Which kingdom do you guys think I missed? And let me know why you think that why do you guys think deserves to be on that list? And I'm not saying there are tons of kingdoms out there that deserve to be on this list, as in kingdoms. I did not mention BBATH. I did not mention Kingdom 77. I did not mention, there's a couple of others that I could mention very, very easily that were very, very big. the NB crew at the time, NB1, NB2, the whole drama that happened with them flipping on JWM and that crazy KVK, the whole Tintin saga, and there's a bunch of different, like, as I mentioned, there are all these different constellations of Rise of Kingdoms, and it really depends which direction you came into the game from, that you know these stories and they affected your ecosystem of Rise of Kingdoms. But these are the ones that I, in particular, think that in particular were very interesting to look at. They love to hate on us, 254. Hell no. No hate from me. For the record, no hate from me. No hate from me. There's too many good people in 254 to hate on 254, period. Even if whatever 254 does, there's still way too many good people there to hate on the kingdom. Same for the record at 846. My hate is towards Laguna, not towards 846, but... You know, I love the... And I hope people don't get mad at me for saying that. I'm definitely going to get in trouble. But I love when someone curses in a way that is not necessarily like a Westerner way to curse, I guess. This is my polite way of trying to say what I'm trying to say. And someone goes, 365 is dog water, right? And it's like the dog and cat stuff. I love those insults. Watch out for sound. Where did Tien go? I have no idea. I think Tien is donezo. My understanding is that even before now, which Tien is officially over, some people migrated last KVK, and then this KVK people were just like, yeah, we're done. And so Tien is retiring the tag and moving on. FL Forever, I agree. Forever was a crazy name. And for the record, another thing that we're going to talk about is names, right? People in a coming stream that have etched their names in the Rise of Kingdoms history. Obviously, there will be names that you guys know, names that you guys don't know, and how they did and what they did. That's some of the things that are coming up in future streams, right? Let's see what you guys say. 365, 960, 94 is a positive modern history example of 2010 as the biggest fail in modern history. How is 960 the biggest fail in modern history if they're right now they're contesting towards apparently Osiris League champions, one of the favorite ones? I don't know anything, right? Don't get mad at me, okay? I'm literally unaware of the situation in the community, right? Remember, I haven't been here 7 months, okay? Can you also tell about 2070? What do you want to hear about 2070? Why do I hate Laguna? It's pretty... I've said this many times before, I think. Here's the thing, right? There is... and, you know, this is actually a different... Okay. We're going to stop Castle, because I want to hear Castle, and also tell you guys this, okay? There is something you guys should remember about playing Rise of Kingdoms and about content creators and about... and this is a subject that's a little taboo to talk about. I have no care to talk about money, okay? I have no issue. I've been talking about it all the time, last stream too. Money motivates people, moves the world. This is Chisgule's job. This is Drago's job. If they don't make money, they don't eat, they don't pay for things. Content creation is a job, okay? Content creation is a job. And I would love if you guys don't get... And I would love if you guys really realize that I'm not trying to be condescending. I'm trying to make a point, but it's really hard not to come out condescending about it. So please forgive me, okay? But this, for me, now is not a job. I'm enjoying chilling with you all in the chat. Drop a like on the stream if you're enjoying it as well. Subscribe down below. I love reading in the chat, interacting with you guys. But at some point or another, this was my job. And this is other creators' job. I have no issue with anyone or anything in game zero me, curse me out, don't let me fight, do anything you want to do. That is fine. In game, fair play. We'll figure it out. We'll move. We'll do what we need to do. But don't mess with my job. Don't mess with my income, right? I understand that to some players, the notion of there being people making an income while they're spending money is not necessarily cool, okay? But there are people, content creators, who live off of playing Rise of Kingdoms, okay? I had a situation with Laguna in 1KVK where, in a nutshell, Laguna, there was crazy drama. In order to not there be crazy drama, the plan was for me to make a video explaining the situation and therefore trying to cushion the drama. And in return, and part of Laguna's part of this was that he agreed to be part of what happened if he posts his video first explaining what's going on. At the time, he was trying to be a content creator and kind of doing his thing. And essentially, in order for him, his alliance, his kingdom, to be part of something inside Rise of Kingdoms, he made a requirement of... All right, let me go back and say this again, because it pisses me off just to think about it. Think about it this way. Something has to happen in game. We want his kingdom's cooperation. In return for his cooperation, he required this is, I'm not stirring the pot. Everybody knows this story. This story has been told at least 3 or 4 times. I've said this on stream before. An outside of the game thing for an inside of the game thing. Okay? And the leader of JWM reached out to me and said, listen, Kingdom 46 are willing to get on board, but there is a catch. Laguna's only demand is that you don't post the explanation video, but rather he does first. At the time, I was like, are you kidding me? After everything, I agreed that for the better of the shit show that I was about to go down there, apologies for cursing, I was like, you know what? He can post, but him first doesn't mean anything. The second after he posts, I'm posting mine. I'm not giving him. There is no time limit here. No problem, no problem, no problem. Good. Now, he's supposed to post a video on Sunday. Sunday arrives. Sunday ends. Video isn't posted. Monday arrives. Monday ends. Video isn't posted. And I have a video done, ready, waiting. The pot is stirring. And then it all blew up. It all blew up because in those 2 days, apparently, he went behind our backs to try to get a better deal on the other side. And when it didn't work out, crazy stuff happened. And long story short, my video never came out because the message that I was going to pass was sent in a Kingdom mail, and the Kingdom mail was supposed to come out after my video. It was supposed to complement my video. And because of that, it stirred massive drama. I never posted the video. Now, these actions caused 3 things. 1, much more drama and issues within a KVK that was already going to be a massive craziness. Number 2, he never really posted the video. So, and number 3, at the time, that was my job. I said I will delay my income as a human playing. Remember one thing, chat, right? You're playing on this, right? You're playing Rise of Kingdoms. But when you turn off your device and put it in your pocket and look in the world, you're a human being, okay? Posting a video, for me, was the human being's income. Okay? And so, the men didn't mess with me in game. The men messed with me outside of the game. Okay? The man took something within the game and made it outside of the game. And as far as I'm concerned, that's the kind of people that I don't want anything to do with. In-game stuff, let's handle in-game. Out-of-game stuff, you know, and one thing that is important to say is that content creators do go along with Kingdom's requests and things about different ways to make their content in order to not only contribute to the Kingdom, but also to be fair towards the Kingdom. You know what I'm saying? Like, if 254 tell Chisgule, listen, can you please stream with a 10-minute delay? Chisgule will more than likely do it in order to not to be good with his Kingdom, to not disrespect his own Kingdom. And so, in-game stuff, no problem. Outside of the game, never again. So yeah, that's why it's not a matter of hating on the guy. Good luck. He built a great Kingdom again. He did it before and he's done it again. Good for him. I just want to stay far, far away. That's all. I have nothing against 846. I've been taught, I know some leaders there. I've been welcomed there more than once. I think it's a great Kingdom. I think there's some fantastic people there, including some of my ex-friends from freaking 401. Shout out to Faith. And of course, shout out to the one and only Khalid, who thinks I don't know who he is. But I know who he is in this chat. My good old No Pixel friend. Laguna was the first, that was the original Mephisto, and here's why. Oh, Lord. We can't tell that crazy story, you know. We can make a video out of it. It would be hilarious. I have so many of these little side stories that happened within Rise of Kingdoms that if I can find a good animator, someone who can draw, that would be hilarious to do like a cartoon series of stuff that happened in Rise of Kingdoms. Boba, let's talk. Can you draw? Can you animate? I have some crazy ideas for content in Rise of Kingdoms. As you guys know, it is time. ESS, drop a like, everyone, with a 5 shekel super chat. I appreciate you, ESS. Our first super chat of the day. You're the biggest winner of the day so far. In a second, that should update. Boom. Thank you very much. That's really kind of you. Drama creates views. Listen, too much drama, and you become a drama channel, and then anything you do that is not drama, people don't watch or dislike or hate on. Okay, I can tell you that this is a very common thing that happens in Rise of Kingdoms. Laguna has a Discord story too. Oh yeah, but we're not gonna go in there. One of the common things that happens in wait. In CSGO, I believe it was. At the time, a long time ago, what CSGO streamers used to do is like play a match, do a giveaway. Play a match, do a giveaway. Play a match, do a giveaway. And the giveaways were like $30, $40 skins. And these content creators became huge. Why? Because people were subscribing or watching, waiting for the game to end, and then just spamming chat. At some point, these guys would play games, and the chat would be like, exclamation point giveaway, exclamation point giveaway, exclamation point giveaway, because bots were just sitting there, right? So drama does the same thing. You got to be very careful with it, because at some point, it's like fire. If you stay close enough, it warms you up. If you stay too far, you don't feel it. If you get too close, you get burned. If you feel what I'm saying. Didn't Last Swagger become a hater YouTube account? I mean, he just he's a good example of what we're talking about, right? Because Last Swagger found success through hating on the other creators because he was the only clean creator who begged to be part of the content creator, but just didn't make the cut for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah, when he essentially ascended as being a clean content creator that didn't have any drama or any yada yada yada, and then slowly and steadily people came on board to watch him because they were so mad at us at the time that when he was like, yeah, they're trash, everybody's like, hooray, he says they're trash, we follow him. But then the next thing he says, like, that person's trash, and then half of the people were like, hooray, and half were like, eh. And then you say that and a couple of extra times and people just don't watch anymore, right? Because you just become the guy who cusses at the screen the whole time. You're like Jerry Springer, bro. Big drama show. It could be sick, you know. You know, you just gave me a really, 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 really fun idea. We can literally script the whole freaking hour and a half, 2 hour show for streams. Interesting. How did 2070 become a dead kingdom? Oh, Lord. 2070 became a dead kingdom because 2070, unfortunately, went through what I call the Justin Bieber effect. Oh, why trash talking? No trash talking at all. No trash talking at all. At all. I have no problem with Swagger. Swagger did his thing and does his thing. I think he also had a little bit of a Justin Bieber effect. Okay. Nothing bad against him. It's just, it's what happened. I'm not trash talking him at all. Everyone thinks the kingdom memorable, but few are actually pillars of Rise of Kingdoms. Correct. I think we went through a list of about 16, 17 that were, in my opinion at least. What country am I from? I live in Israel. Tell about 254. What is there to tell? Is there something to tell? What do you want to know? 2070, listen, let me tell you what the Justin Bieber effect is, and maybe you guys can relate. Justin Bieber was a YouTuber, believe it or not, at the age of 15, who got discovered by this guy. And still his manager, he's still his guy, right? But long story short, he became a superstar at a very young age and went wild. Like a lot of superstars that go crazy too quick. And the Justin Bieber effect is essentially when the piss goes up to your head. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, it is what it is. Too much success too quickly makes everybody lose the ground, you know? And unless you have a lot of weights holding you down, things can go crazy. 2070 is one story like that of a kingdom that did so well up until the point of that massive migration that everybody just wanted to go there. And instead of them holding the doors or to a certain extent doing a little bit more homework, going a little bit less aggressive, building up slowly and steadily, kind of like 307 did, kind of like 93 did in their rebuild. It's just what ended up happening, they just pushed in. They said, all right, 8 alliances, no problem, done deal. And that just doesn't work. As you can see, there is no big kingdom with 8 alliances. There's too much. And so, too much rice in the pot went poof. 59 is a pillar of RoK, I agree. Which city in Israel? I'd rather not say, Gilad. Yo, what up, True Zeke? Chat, if you're enjoying the stream, don't forget to drop a like. We're about 2 likes away from 150. Although you guys, there's a lot of you here. 1059 wasn't a kingdom, it was just AWM. It was a kingdom still. At the time, most kingdoms were one alliance, Pony. And for the record, my understanding is that Titch's kingdom, or 235, is one of the 8 kingdoms out there. There's also nowadays a one pony show, and they also do fairly well. So that mentality of one pony show kingdoms still exists to this day. Do I still remember AB the Beast? I do. He still shows up in this chat. He's still a mod. He's still a member. Of course I remember AB the Beast. AB the Beast was actually part of he was part of the people who got to meet Swagger when Swagger was trying to become a content creator. Me and Navy the Beast used to play a lot of PUBG Mobile. I think that time was more enjoyable. Super Imperium broke the game, in my opinion. Khan, you know what's crazy? And this is something that, truthfully, I really like Titch about it. Because Titch is the guy who really does it, right? And it's kind of a stupid thing for me to say, because it's so obvious, and yet none of us do it. Why are you in a mega kingdom? There are kingdoms out there playing the game in a very different way and enjoying themselves very much. Nowhere near Imperium or Mega Kingdoms, right? So that's the crazy thing about Rise of Kingdoms. There are so many ecosystems of kingdoms, of things happening, that I believe Titch's kingdom, like I mentioned, is a one-show pony on a kingdom, very strong, doing their thing. They're having great KVKs. They're fighting. And they're building, right? They've been building since I've been gone more and more. And the way you do that is by saying, okay, these are the parameters that my kingdom are part of. They don't want to be Imperium. Am I going to be in 556? I am in 556. I don't see myself leaving unless they tell me to leave. And also they help me to leave, because I'm going to need some passport pages, homies. If y'all want me to leave, that's not a problem. Do I speak fluent Hebrew? I do. Just a clarification, are you back or playing casually? What does back mean? If only we were back in the days when 307 and 401 were top kingdoms, before everyone abused the 10 migration bugs. Yeah, Ruz, I agree. What up? How are you, man? I agree. There were a lot of good times where and these kingdoms that you mentioned kind of shifting the paradigms in Rise of Kingdoms. I'm in an A kingdom with one of the high English speaking alliances, one Korean alliance. We are chilling. Yeah. Good, bro. How are you? I'm doing good. Thanks. You know what it means, playing all day? I don't play all day, that's for sure. But my gatherers are usually out. They're not out for a particular reason right now, which I'm not going to talk about. But I've been playing. And gathering. And my gold is piling up slowly and steadily. That's really what I need, gold. Because the rest, really... Like, I'm good for a little while, resources wise, right? Imagine them actually fixing bugs. Nah. System going luckily against the Wars 2 to 3 Alliance Kingdoms. Well, yeah. You have to. You have to. $556 has a lot of gold. Biggest problem in Rise of Kingdoms is the lag. Remy, you know what's Remzi, sorry, you know what's crazy? The lag is not really there in A kingdoms. You know that my understanding, and this is not, don't quote me, this is not John Wick mathematics with facts and exact calculations which presume the probability of planet Earth aligning with all Earths in all communities, but anyway, you get my point. The population inside the top 5 kingdoms in terms of population size, which is also the big guys, is equivalent to the bottom 5 A kingdoms combined in terms of population, okay? You got to realize that when 846, 556, 93, 254 get on the field, this is literally 3 kingdoms in one. And when you have 8 or 3 or 4 of those on the map in an 8 kingdom game where you're supposed to be 8, but now 3 of them are actually 3. So there is 5 and then 9. So there's 14 kingdoms worth of people on the field. Impossible to fix the lag. It's impossible. You need to realize this. Lag is not fixable. One main reason. Software engineer here. Almost 9 years in the field. Okay. Servers are the easiest thing to fix. Chat, you know how you fix servers? Can any of you guess how you fix servers? On a real, I can fix all of the servers right now, right? You know how you fix servers? Yo, what up, Nugget? You retired, right? Reboot them? Nope. Guys, every server on human Earth, almost everything that you see is sitting either on Amazon Web Services, Google Cloud Services, or if China has their own thing, then the China and Republic servers of servers. Fix lag, you just delete the game. It works wonders. I agree. The way you fix servers is simple. Take the credit card out and you dump more money into it and the server is fixed, okay? It's simple. We do it all the time. All the time. I work on something on the UI because I'm a UI developer and we have a question, a problem. Do we do this calculation on the UI or we do it on the server side? Anytime we have this argument at work, the answer is always one. Server. Why? Because if it becomes slower, we just dump more money on it and that's it. The UI, if the UI slows down, there's nothing to do about it because it's on your device. It's why the iPad Pro doesn't lag and your phone does. There is nothing Lilith can do to save you from lag. Nothing. Nothing. The more craziness is going on the screen, the more viewers are watching the viewers are not even a problem, okay? Bulba, for the record. The viewers are not even a problem because viewers are just spectators. They don't have anything to do with what's coming and going, okay? The data coming and going to the players has probably nothing to do if they have a good load balancer anyway. The point is, there's no way to fix it, period. You just got to live with it. Or go to a kingdom that is not 6 kingdoms in one. And this is, again, no hate or negativity or any of that stuff towards any of those kingdoms, okay? Please, don't come out swinging at me, okay? I'm literally just stating facts here or things that I've understood from people who are crunching numbers. It's crazy. It's crazy. How do you expect there not to be lag when one kingdom is the equivalent of a whole continent worth of players? Do you think not allowing any spectators would help with the problem? No. And chat, let me drop a bomb on you guys, because a video about this will be made eventually. But there's an update coming up right now, right? And if you haven't done so, don't forget to drop a like on the stream and hit that subscribe down below, okay? Hit that subscribe down below for me, please. Hit that like, share the stream, and whatever the heck not. Thank you. Anyway. Have you done it yet? Have you done it yet? Let me ask you a simple question. When you fight on the open field, there are a few of you out there, okay? Fairly seasoned Rise of Kingdoms warriors. I know some of your names right here off the bat, okay? My simple question to you is this, okay? Oh, for crying out loud. Lilith, I get distracted by chat. Lilith won't fix the lag because there's no consequence for them of not fixing it. People still play the game and people still spend money. True. That is true. That is very true, Nugget. You can't complain and then you can't eat the soup and complain about the fact that it tastes like crap. If you're eating it, then don't complain. Alright? I'm gonna be seated kingdom. We enjoy the fights with minimal lags at the start. Yep. I complain about Rise of Kingdoms and forget and spend I know. People complain a lot and then keep spending. How do I word this in a way that won't be a crazy rant right now? when you fight in KVK right now, what is Rise of Kingdoms meta? What is Rise of Kingdoms gameplay? How it works? You do this, and you do this, and then you do that. But what is this? These are all marches of troops with commanders, and they go out and fight at it, right? Crazy stuff. You guys probably know this as Rise of Kingdoms players. And how does fighting work right now in the game? That is quite simple. And we will demonstrate... Ooh, another one troop flag. I actually need that. We will demonstrate right now how Rise of Kingdoms fighting works nowadays. You guys know this probably. I'm not going to have to tell you. We have essentially a face-to-face combat where people go in and out into each other. The worst thing about fighting in lag is when you get pulled in because someone is pulling back and your march keeps pulling them into oblivion. So what does Rise of Kingdoms decide to do? They decide to add ranged fight into Rise of Kingdoms. Now, let me ask you a simple question. How many of you truly think that the archers outside the ball are gonna get hit at all? Because I don't understand how Lilith expect in Rise of Kingdoms, in the way the Rise of Kingdoms war meta exists, how they expect to add ranged fights and that not just becoming the only type of fights. Because let's face it, if this, for the sake of argument, and remember this scene because we're going to talk about it like this is going on in the background as a fight. This is Nugget, retired. Sorry, Nugget. I chose your name randomly. And I am fighting him and he's destroying me, okay? His infantry, my infantry, his cavalry, my cavalry, he's just wrecking. But then come my friends back here. And they're like, oh, well, here is Nugget. Let's just shoot at him. While you're shooting at him, this guy can't do anything about it. At the same time, he's lagging like crazy, so he has no clue that he's getting shot by arrows, that he has to pull back to get out of their range. But either way, he got pulled. While Nugget is destroying me, I started backing off back home, and he got pulled in a little bit. By the time he realized it, though, archers are already on his butt. Now, ask me one simple question. Why on earth should I use non-archer, non-ranged marches in Rise of Kingdoms if I can stay way behind? Someone answer me that question. And so, I'm not hating. What I'm saying is the introduction of a long-range mechanic is not something that you can do overnight by, hey, now there's long range, have fun. The meta of the game needs to change to allow there to be ranged ways to get rid of range without having to go through the freaking blender of mid-fight to get across to the archers, or else you're screwed. You're just screwed. What's gonna happen is those who have the most money are gonna send infantry to just be a wall, and everybody else behind are gonna be archers and just bloop, 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 pick up people one by one. We sit on Discord, all archers, and we go, hit this target. Everybody target this guy. Plaf. He has no clue he's being hit. Oh, it's Hassan. What up, Hassan? What up, Hall Gaming? Imagine Arc with ranged troops. But forget about Arc for a second. Arc is a subset category of Rise of Kingdoms. Put Arc as ranged category, or ranged fights, and not all of Rise of Kingdoms. That's a different story, right? When you're introducing it into the war meta. Like, formation is another thing, but I'm not going to give you guys all the tea of what I think, because there is videos and streams planned with all these things. But one of you guys actually said something really, really interesting. Crap. Thank God next week there is a lot of holidays, because I'm going to spend time building this new idea that one of you guys said today. I really like it. I really, really, really do. I really do. Really start again, build a new kingdom. I know, I've talked to him. But I think formation is something good. I don't. I mean, it's not that I don't. I think that there's a lot of ways to execute it. But the way that I hope they execute it will add a little bit of more strategy, which is nice. But the way I think they'll execute it, I don't believe that they'll manage to make formations not essentially be either obsolete or be just like, okay, this against that, and that's it. All right, chat. We're about 10 minutes into before the 2-hour mark where I think we'll close the stream. Okay, I kind of have one of you guys gave me a like I've been itching. I'm literally, I don't know if you guys noticed that I'm a little bit like moving a lot and all that like throughout the last like, I don't know, half an hour. Because one of you guys said something crazy in this chat. Okay, one of you guys said something crazy. I really liked as an idea. I really liked as an idea. What's my opinion on the current KVK format I'm in? I don't know what the current KVK format that I'm in is because the fights and all that ended before I came back. I heard a little bit about it. I understand a little bit about it. I don't know much at all. Okay, I don't know much at all. So I don't have an opinion. I've been told a lot of bad things. I've been told a lot of good things in certain aspects. So I don't know. Or make formations just cosmetic, but everybody's playing on simplified graphics because the game lags. So your cosmetic goes out the door and therefore it has no added value to the game. So you want to make a cosmetic way of forming your freaking troops. That's great. It doesn't do much. 254? Not anymore. Of course 254 though hits a gold commander. Because, let's face it. Ooh! What do you know? Interesting. I'm assuming those who invest so much time into formations not have an idea on how to monetize. I mean, monetize they will for sure. Monetize they will for sure. What are my thoughts on the Call of Dragons game? I am enjoying it so far. Ragnar. I'm enjoying it so far. I'm in season 2 right now. In server 2. Checking out the game. T25 formation. Lol. Also 100k troops trying to destroy a fort in zone 5. They need to reach rally capacity. Oh well. How big was the rally? Am I wailing on it? You cannot spend right now on it because it's only released in, I think, in Canada, and you need to be VPN'd and you need that so you needed to make an account that is all Canadian essentially, and I did, except that when I went to pay for a bundle, I accidentally used PayPal, which changed my Google location automatically and screwed me over. Instead of me just putting a credit card and nobody would ever know, I didn't think about it and put my PayPal. It switched me from Canada to Israel, and I can't spend. So now I can't buy. Nobody, if you don't have an account in Canada, you can't spend in the game right now. Yeah, Bulba, but you didn't play Lords Mobile, but they did use formations. They did. However, in Lords Mobile, the meta was in rallies. It was not 1 troop rally. It was 3 troop rally. And so think about it this way. In Lords Mobile, you send 5 commanders, not 2. Okay. And those 5 can be a mix or a match or anything. So your main commander, your primary commander, carries gear. And then there's another 4 with extra stats. So in Lords Mobile, you send rallies. When you go to send a rally, there is no such thing as a cavalry rally or an infantry rally. There is a 244 which is infantry, cavalry, archers. 5-4-1, 4-4-2, 3-3-4, whatever this situation requires. And the way you know what the situation requires is through scouting. You can see what, if you're hitting a building, for example, what the types of troops that are within it. And so what made Lords Mobile such a hugely successful game is that there were 3 mechanics that worked extremely well together. Number 1 was the mechanic of formations of 3 troops, which would fight against each other. You can literally have the same type of stats, the exact same person fight each other, and one formation destroys another formation. And so you'd always be able to counter. But at the same time, one of the hardest things to do was to change formations inside a building and in a rally. So what people would do is, for example, they would launch a 4-4-2 rally, which is an infantry and cavalry heavier rally. And the idea was for it to be an infantry heavier at the end. But what they would do is they would start the rally with cavalry commanders, cavalry gear, cavalry everything. And 5 seconds before the rally launches, they would switch to infantry. And then all of a sudden, it's the same formation, but infantry heavy. And so those 2 mechanics worked out extremely well. And the third mechanic, which made everything even better and crazier and extremely profitable, was that when there is a rally in Lords Mobile moving, okay, let's pretend that this is a rally moving, you can click it, and there's in here like a little boot with wings, and if you click on it, you have these winged boots tiles, which what they do is they make the march twice as fast or 3 times as fast. So what people do, both for, and you can do that for marches and for rallies. For rallies, you need carpets. Carpets make it quicker. And for marches, it's the boots. So people buy carpets like crazy, and anyone can carpet the rally. There's a carpet, correct. And so imagine you want to hit something and you don't want them to know what you're hitting them with. You wait for the last second to switch the infantry heavy, and then as soon as the rally comes out, 6, 7, 8 people carpet at the same time, and the rally goes from a 40-second march to a 3-second march. Before you even manage to click on the march, it hits you, and you're like, oh, for crying out loud. Now, what ends up happening is it becomes extremely strategic and also extremely profitable, because in order to execute it correctly, you need a ton of carpets, which are ridiculously expensive, and you need good gear and good commanders, which works the same. Rise of Kingdoms can work with formations, and it can work extremely well, both with formations and ranged. But those are 2 mechanics that are very, very heavy. Very heavy. You need to be able to introduce them and to allow the meta to shift towards them, okay? Rather than impose them at once. Lords Mobile is constant combat, where Rise of Kingdoms is gradual combat. Lords Mobile is always on your pants. If you're not bubbled all the time in Lords Mobile, you will get zeroed eventually. Because at any point, a rogue alliance can come in and just destroy your kingdom. Or at least that's how it used to be. We always sat under bubbles. The good news is that obviously the game knew this. And so you had years of bubbles, right? Like when I quit the game, I still for 2-3 months logged in every day and picked up stuff just in case. And just bubble. And I had 300 days worth of bubbles available, right? In there, you snooze, you lose. And people get destroyed. You think that Baba wouldn't get... In Rise of Kingdoms, Baba... In Lords Mobile, player like Baba gets zeroed while sleeping. Bro, I migrate every other week, see? You still play, Letio? We go kill everybody and leave. See, that's what I'm saying. That's what that game is all about. It's kind of nuts. And it's super scary, too. Baba's just a fish. In Lords Mobile, he is. In Lords Mobile, billion power players get zeroed with 18 consecutive rallies back-to-back from people like Letio. If you guys want to see all that, the guy who was here the other day, Worthy Prince, who came to a stream randomly. I haven't heard from him in years. He's one of the predominant Lords Mobile content creators nowadays. Or he was, or he is. I have no idea. I haven't heard or spoke with him in a while. I haven't followed the Lords Mobile community either. All right, chat. We're about to hit that 2-hour mark, and it's about that time for me to leave. I was with the SGK crew, the sugar family. $1.7 billion power is base might now if you max research. Jesus. Jeez. So the game grew like crazy. You have 2 billion plus. You have to have some troops. Jeez. That's usually how it happens, right? As the game grows old, numbers grow bigger and bigger in order to be able to continue, right? It's called inflation. Eventually it will implode. It happened also in Rise of Kingdoms, for the record. It's just like the more and more time goes on, the more damage is being done, the more troops die, the more troops you heal, the more troops you build, and all that. All right, chat. 187 likes on the stream. If there's 13 people out there who haven't liked the stream yet, I'd appreciate it if you did that. So we hit that 200 mark for today. Shout out to our one member who joined the stream today back from not being a member, which I can't see because he did it off stream. Also, thank you very much to Lil Tacky. You should play Nike Goddess of Victory. What is that? Thank you for the $2 super chat and ESS for your very kind super chat as well. They aren't any permanent research. It's crazy. I'm so glad you're back. Thank you, Moby Nick. I appreciate you. Interesting. One of you guys gave me one of the best ideas I've had in a very long time for content in Rise of Kingdoms. So thank you very much. Chat, 5 likes away from 200. Even if we don't get it done, I appreciate you all for trying. Don't forget again, subscribe to the channel. We have our first video back either Monday or Tuesday. It depends on how the story ends. It hasn't ended yet. And I already have a crazy story for you guys to kick things off. And it even has potentially a cameo from a content creator. That's all I'm saying, chat. Appreciate you all again. Shout out to those of you out there, members in the channel. Always that extra support. Those of you who just watch here, chill, and lurk. I love my lurkers as well. You guys are the best. Thank you again for everything. Being here day and night. I can't believe we held 300 viewers at some point. Like, we just rambled about Rise of Kingdoms. Can you imagine how crazy that is? That's 3 movie theaters watching me at some point. That's nuts. See you guys. Thank you again for everything. Bye. Now, when you do this.